This is Tim. Hope you all doing well today. I want to start off by showing you the upper level water vapor loop over the continental U.S. and little upper level feature was left over from what's impacted our weather for the past several days over the southeast. Another upper level low in the northern Caribbean headed this way again. And we have our tropical depression down here in the Bay of Campeche, which is being sheared southwesterly shear from up level low in this area, and it's not likely to strengthen very much, but it will bring possibility of flooding rains, mudslides to the higher terrain of Mexico in the next 12 to 24 hours. Severe weather came through this area here in the northeast yesterday. Northeast, everything's moved out, but yesterday had quite a few tornadoes and storms. If you look here, this shows the different storm reports. Red is tornado reports from yesterday, 17, hail 40, wind gust 66, wind damage 103, significant hail, which is over 2 inches, a significant wind. That's over 60 knots, I believe, yesterday. So this area I'm showing here for the storm prediction outlook is for today. Today's outlook for possibility of severe weather. Let me just make sure that's correct. It doesn't look right. Let me just make sure. Wait for it to load. Yeah, sorry about that. But this is today's severe threat. Broad hail and wind threat, and marginal around the edges. Colorado, Wyoming, Midwest states up into the Great Lakes, and the marginal threat along the East Coast. Tornado threat. They're not highly in any areas possibility of tornadoes, but there's always a possibility with severe weather. Hail, coastal on the front range of the Rockies, and with a wide swath of 10%, 5% risk in the brown areas. Wind is the biggest, threat today, but I wouldn't rule out some severe hail along the front range here, which is not uncommon this time of year. So, day 2, severe weather chances. Still a slight marginal threat along the Mid-Atlantic, Washington, D.C., Midwest, Great Plains, and the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. No tornado threat, hail threat, 5% risk of hail, biggest threat being wind. Day 2 outlook. I was just there. My apologies. Day 3. outlook, probabilities. You got general chance of thunderstorms um, along this area, but you also have a broad 5%, 10% risk. And this is for 3 days from now. You see the legend down here at the bottom. This hasn't changed because this is that hasn't come out yet. Watches and warnings currently active. Let's go to this other map. Kind of out of order here. I had already made one video this morning. For some reason, it didn't save, so I'm having to start all over. So my apologies. I had it all organized and everything, and now it's all over the place. Watches, warnings, advisories. You have some severe thunderstorm warnings, flood warnings, fire weather warnings in these areas. Extreme heat advisory. You can see there's no heat advisories in most of the U.S. right now, which is kind of nice, isn't it? Got some flood watches, flood warnings in these areas. River flooding in the green here. I keep clicking on it. My bad. And you have some dense fog and some air quality warnings in some areas that have stagnant air today. In addition, along the California coast over here. Fire weather watch. Patchy dense fog. Air quality. As far as the tropics go, back to this, that's that tropical depression is going to move on shore here, and you have one in the tropical depression 5 is forecast to become a hurricane and hug the Mexican coastline into the right along the Gulf of California here. Baja California. Okay, so surface 12-hour chance of precip. I'm going to go through this real quick with y'all. This is through the 5th of July. Gives you an idea of the broad areas that could be getting precip on the next 5 days. Apparent temps. It's going to be hot, but not terrible. This is going back to the upper level. Let's do this. The precip chances, inches. Broad swath of precip east of the Rockies. And I apologize again for this video to be kind of disjointed because I had everything lined up and now it's all screwed up. Sorry about that. He says a rainfall outlook. See the broad swath here with a slight risk over the Midwest states. Instead of rainfall day 2. Goes to the south here. Day 3. go further south with a slight area along the Mid-Atlantic. Day 4, almost non-existent. Day 5, desert southwest and a small portion of Florida. And a marginal chance of heavy rain in these areas. And 2 weeks flooding possible in the desert southwest, which is part of the monsoon season. Um, Climate outlooks, 3 to 7 day temp outlook. Hazardous heat is possible in these areas. 8 to 4 day, 2 weeks out. They're not showing any possibility of hazards right now for temperatures, so that's good. Monthly precipitation outlook for the whole month of July. Expected to be above average, pretty much east of the Mississippi, below average. In the northwest, drought. Interesting. It's quite expansive here in the desert southwest, lower Midwest, upper Midwest, high plains, and it's here. Not sure. Anyway, that's that. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Will be above normal for a good portion of the U.S. Precip outlook. Most of the U.S. is above normal chance of more than above a higher chance of precip than not. This is pretty much equal chances of higher or lower precip. 2 weeks out, temperatures pretty much forecast to be above average most of the U.S. Precip, most of the U.S., all the U.S. is going to be has an equal or above normal chances of precip. Here's your monthly temperature outlook again, which is highlights our area, pretty much in the south to the Mississippi Valley and to the deep south here, Dixie Alley, as having a possibility of being below normal or above normal. The rest of the U.S. above normal. That being said, I want to show you the broad flow here as we go through time. Pretty much a zonal flow with the amplification of as we go through time here at this trough along the East Coast, and with a high pressure system building in the high plains, upper Midwest, which this kind of pattern leads to this time of year can lead to derechos or high wind events that travel in the northwest flow and right into these areas here. And given this flow, I wouldn't be surprised we see some severe weather really ramp up next week, towards the end of next week. Let's go. I'm just going to kind of go through the natural weather show forecast max temps so you see some numbers here. Broad swath 90s, coarse 100s. In the desert southwest, which isn't unusual this time of year, 80s, 90s. Not terrible compared to what it was. gonna be hot, but especially in the upper Midwest, that's pretty hot, especially in this area. And that's where the drought was highlighted as well. So overall theme is here: hot weather, but not like incredibly bad. So we can hopefully that'll continue. But this is summer, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. I use this. Last thing I want to talk about is the tropics. I use this to kind of show tropical development and what we currently have. This is a Google experimental AI model that they've been working on, and it shows this tropical storm out here, the Pacific. And these are different models it uses, um, and over time you can see it thinking something else develop in the East Pacific here again, and maybe something along the East Coast. They've been showing it for quite some time. And the European model might be hinting at something, you know, trying to form along the coast of Africa, but it's still a little bit early for that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get tropical depression or something along the East Coast in the United States next week, and that's might be part of that upper low feature that we saw interacting with surface front or trough or something. We'll just have to see how that plays out. No need to worry about it right now. We're just kind of keeping an eye on things, but this has been apparent on models for a couple of days now, so we'll see what happens. Hope you all have a great day.